The Aussie 409 working in the Redneck Repair Creature Shop. Today working on V8 Wd9 diesel with a loader that came off T.O. Ferguson. It was too big for the loader's too big for the tractor too small. Recutting, designing, because this loader is actually too small for this, but I live in a small world now. So, figure kind of like curious what it is. You're also using it as a workbench. This is a Dearborn loader, model 1943. I don't know, that's the year, it's just their number, but it could be that old. Haven't really touched the upper loader supports. They've been fine. It's just has a two-piece. Had this inner tub, kind of right here, and then had this whole inner structure. Well, I had to cut the inner structure out about there, then put some C-channel in, made custom mounts across the bottom so it all fits nice, so the hood and the grill fit. Built a mount for the hydraulic pump. This initially went up on the front of the Ferguson, would have been around there, but I don't know, I felt like it'd be a little destructive. I might break that. So built a mount, goes up front, mount, custom, goes into engine cradle for V8 diesel, that also holds water pump. So I want everything that bolts in to be able to unbolt. Still missing a lot of pieces. Manifolds, before I put the loader on, just kind of came out the side and went up like that. And I have to probably either build headers or lob this piece off and then kind of run it up. The lights are run underneath, up, run an air cleaner, could do something like that, and then run a single stack up. Battery boxes on these used to all be on one side. Right now I'm kind of got it mocked up, so we got battery and a box and a block and then another box, so I can get the mounts right to live in between the loader. Everything I want to be able to unbolt. So if I take the loader off, it will. Hydraulic reservoir was off something I built for another tractor, but it fits right in there. So the mount I built for this was kind of a pain. Bolts to the loader, holds hydraulic reservoir, and also mounts the original little toolbox. Goes in there. Walk around, walk around. Don't mind the mess, it usually gets worse. Pulled this pipe off just to not be whacked on it. Same thing the other side. Build the battery boxes so they live right in the middle. Right now it's just kind of hanging out. But yeah, I wanted to keep a little toolbox. The whole idea of this thing's done to make it look original-ish. I bought this one, there's like about a dozen of these where I bought them. But I bought this one specifically because somebody had made these extra fenders, extensions. A lot of farmers had done that because the old fenders went about here. Then the tires stuck way out and probably got hit with mud. Got this little strap here, the little danger strap. Whoever built these fenders, the fenders either bent or they didn't get them straight. So I'm holding it straight right now, so it's that way instead of leveling up. Slow moving vehicle sign. I don't know if I really need it because I've drove this thing down the road about 48 miles an hour. I have passed cars in this thing, but I got my slow moving vehicle sign, my lights, I can drive it on the road. So if they take your license and take your keys, don't forget the one about your old International tractor. Building sheet metal. The old W9s were just fenders, platform, and then there was nothing. And then the next series they called the 600s. Well, there's the Supers in there, which is the same thing with hydraulics. And the 600s had sheet metal that filled all of this in. And then places for the hydraulics. They had a big gauge cluster. I just got the little one. Been thought about modifying, but I think I'm just going to leave the original gauges. Key switch cluster, because up to this point I had nowhere to put it, so it just kind of hung out. Hung a little better than that, but not a whole lot. Glow plug switch. That little knob, way back in the day, I imagine some of these tractors had shutters, so you'd turn that and you could open the shutters, close, help them stay warm. I'm building a bunch of sheet metal to enclose all of this. So I bought these aftermarket international gauges. They actually come from India, so they have the right numbers on them. That one reads right. The other ones look cool. They're backlit, so you can see them at night, which is something they didn't do in the 40s. But the oil and the water do not read correctly. So today I'm gonna finish up sheet metal work. Got a little hole there. I want to fill that panel in, make a custom panel, bent, get everything screwed together. Because the bottom shield can stay. That one's bolted underneath the platform. That one goes underneath the platform. It's got cutouts for the. This would have been the throttle. Now this is my throttle, including my string. This string goes all the way up to the pump right now. Haven't built a decent throttle. Been running it that way for a couple of years now. Vroom, vroom. Your governor. Not quite as much. This panel, as you can see, it kind of just, it's all beat up underneath there. I just kind of cut it and bent it till I got one that fit. Upper one, same. This wire just hang out so I don't get it cut. But this curve, I've been cutting and grinding. I could get a decent sheet metal piece and get that fit. So this has to have a curve. It's got to match that. This, same on the other side. If I take that strap off, this fender will move in, and that curve won't be right. So that curve is more for when I want it, not where it is now. Hydraulic valve, I've not built the mount, but this is about where I want it. So I can just sit right here, and then you reach up. And, you get everything done. But it should be a nice little package. Gauge sit right underneath that bar, so I should be able to get the hood off and on. The grill, I beat, paneled, added chunks. Actually made that grill about 1.5 inches taller because I built the custom radiator. I have not touched the hood yet. Hood is still pretty rotten. This is all bent. They used to start on gas, a little gas tank here, and then you pull everything and switch to diesel. That was your diesel tank hole. Here's your gauges. And then there's a hole over there for exhaust. Well, gases and distillates had it over there. Was a diesel, so I gotta have it on this side. When you do all the exhaust, it'll all come out that way. Rims are solid. Somebody had added 1 inch of steel in one time. Made it a little wider. I had them out to 4 inches. Had 1834s on here, which are good for plowing, but I got a good deal on these 16.934s. I ended up taking 2 inches of steel back out to get them kind of welded and cleaned up. Radiator is out of a combine. I wanted a brass radiator I could run high pressure through instead of just kind of the cast with the cap on top the way they work. So it took combine radiator, cut it down, beat it, built its own little mount. Been trying to get everything to seal. It's been fighting me every time I think I got it. I didn't got it. And it leaks some more. But getting ready to start building more sheet metal. It's kind of a, I want everything to look like it was factory. Right now I can't really pull that off. That's tubing. It's been cut and bent it out so the hood would clear. There's gauges I was talking about. They look original, which was the point. They don't read correctly, but they look cool. That one, start out and the oil pressure will come up. It's got 60 pounds when it's running, I've checked. And once it warms up, it'll kind of come down, it'll bounce around there. This one kind of moves. Well, it's all still work in progress. Like it's the little gas tank, which used to hold the starting gas machine. I have now set up that runs off the kind of a mess power steering pump. So right now they're just running fluid back and forth, back and forth. Initial plan, I was going to put a pickup blade in front of this to clean out my yard. Never got that far. I built it and then got divorced and then broke my spine. Don't ever break your back. I'm telling you. Takes forever to heal. I got more metal in me than I really need to. But it's just been a process of just getting everything cleaned up. Like this, let's talk about the loader bracket. This bracket, eventually, this is cobble welding. We'll get a nice little, this cleaned up. I did this outside when it's cold, so we'll do it on it's warm. Gusset this, because this arm used to come out and actually went up that way, looped across, met the other one, and then this bar kind of met. So this was a triangulated frame. It went here, nothing here, I cut it off, and back around. It's actually a nice little unit, but just don't fit this way. So cut them down, make it fit. Built loader mount underneath that supports that, goes across. There's a bracket in the middle for the drawbar, and then this mirror is on the other side. So this is all sent up. I'm ready. We'll plate all the way down this side support, because that's, you know, the back one takes the force, you push into something, and then when you pick up something up, the force has got to be strong down that way. And if you get any shuffle, any other load, this thing cannot move left and right. Which you probably won't, because these pins, I've had them out, are 2 inches across. It's just more 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Some of the old loaders I have just have a pin that goes across. So this would be a good sturdy loader. And get everything mounted, cleaned up. The next year, when it's warm, pull this stuff off, wire wheel it, clean it. And decided, I don't know if I'm going to leave the loader arms red too, or make the arms black, bucket black, or just spray the whole thing red. Yeah, get it all cleaned up. Make some, I'd like to make some metal housings around here, hide some of the plastic, make everything look a little more period. Because initially the lights would have been up on the grill. Well, you can't do that with the loader, you destroy them. And I think that's about it. Right now we're just going to let some things are just kind of hanging out, get around to them later. But y'all have a, y'all is not a word, sorry. You all have a nice night and day. I'm going to build stuff. Later. Don't break nothing I wouldn't break.